to another episode of the Deals for Dentists podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Eric Block, and through these podcast episodes, I'll be interviewing dental professionals and companies, and I aim to inspire, entertain, and educate you on the best tools and technologies out there. My goal is to help make your practice and career more profitable, efficient, and most importantly, more enjoyable. And be sure to check out my latest book, Stress-Free Dental Implants, Re-Energize Your Career with Implants, and my first book, The Stress-Free Dentist, Overcome Burnout and Start Loving Dentistry Again. And today we're joined by Julie Charlestein. Julie, thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, Dr. Block. Thank you for having me.
And where are you zooming in from today?
Today I am actually in a rec room in my house. Behind me, you can maybe see like a Papa Shot.
Yeah, I love those.
We got a little bit creative. Got a ping pong table, a Papa Shot, some foosball. Got to keep it fun.
Sounds like a fun place to hang out.
That's a big part of my style.
Yeah, that's good. I like it. And now Julie Charlestein is a Philadelphia-based business leader and healthcare innovator who serves as the CEO of Premier Dental, which is a global provider of inspired solutions for daily dentistry, leading a century-old business as the company's fourth-generation chief executive. Julie is recognized within the dental industry and beyond as a champion of creative healthcare solutions to meet the evolving needs of today's patients. Julie was voted one of the top 25 most influential women in dentistry by Dental Products Report and nominated as one of the IFAH top 100 healthcare leaders. She was also awarded the 2019 Silver Stevie Award for Female Executive of the Year, recognized as one of Philadelphia Business Journal's most admired CEOs, and honored with the Gold Award by the 2020 Best in Biz Awards as Executive of the Year in July 2019. That's quite the resume.
I sound very fancy.
Yeah, it is very fancy as you're in the rec room there in your house. So
Exactly.
Actually, let's just start with how did you get involved with dentistry and Premier Dental?
Well, I guess the quickest one-word answer is nepotism. Premier is our family's business. As you had said in the bio, I'm our fourth generation leader. The business was started by my great-grandfather, Julius Charlestein, almost 110 years ago now. Next year we'll be 110 years old. And that's how I was familiar with dentistry. It was never, we certainly knew that we had this business in the family, but it was never something that was expected that would be our career path. And before we started this recording, I told you a little bit about, over the summers, if I had a day here and there, I would come in and I would separate the wood wedges. I remember a woman named Carmen in the warehouse, the yellows here, the greens here. And if I had a day off of school, this is showing my age, I would alphabetize the files in the filing room. But it certainly was never a dictated career path. It was something that I came to later. My studies, my undergraduate, were in completely irrelevant subjects of political science and Judaic language and literature. And then I kind of was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So I worked part-time at Premier and actually in our medical division, and I really liked it. And I said, okay, if this is something that I want to do, I should probably go to business school because I'm just, not at all familiar with business. And I certainly wasn't going to become a dentist. So I went to business school, and then I said, okay, well, maybe someone else wants to hire me. So then I worked outside. And then my father started calling me, what are your plans? What are you interested in? And then I started having conversations with other family businesses, family business owners, family business consultants. I started doing research in the industry about Premier, about who we were. And then I said, okay, I think that I could be happy here and I could be impactful. So I decided to come into the business. I came in as a product manager, probably about 20 years ago now, which seems like a very long time, which it is, maybe a little bit longer than that. And I was a product manager and eventually worked my way up to becoming CEO.
So you went from arranging the wedges by order of color to the CEO.
Yes.
I I feel like that is very soothing to arrange wedges and by color. Um, so, anyone out there listening, don't knock it. Did, did you find, was there a lot of pressure, being a fourth generation, it's a family business, kind of taking over the reins, that you didn't want to let the family down?
There certainly was a lot of pressure. It was internal pressure, and it wasn't necessarily when I became CEO. It was really throughout my whole journey. The first question you asked was, how did you get into the dental business? And my answer was nepotism. So if you're getting into something because of nepotism, you really better prove yourself. So that was always was and still always is my mentality, that I need to deserve to be here. Yes, this might be how I ended up here, but I certainly need to earn my way to deserve it. And so that's really where the pressure came from. Not to let my family down, but to not let the business down, and to not let there be an expectation that this is something that was handed to me, that this needs to be something that I work for and learn and understand, and then am able to lead.
Did you find that, going to business school, but then working outside of the family business and then kind of coming back, was that extremely helpful, kind of seeing what else is out there? And then you mentioned that your dad called you and you started looking into working for Premier. Do you think that was really helpful to get an outside perspective first?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You need that. I think it does two things. To your point, it brings perspective, but it also brings validity to who you are, in terms of what the perception is of you on the inside of the organization. Not to say, okay, well, this is her first job, her only job, anything along those lines. So it brings things from both avenues: perspective, experience, and validity.
Now, did you mention that you actually sought counsel from like a family business kind of counselor specialist?
Yes.
And can you explain what that is?
So family businesses are very, very interesting, have very different dynamics. You're dealing with, obviously, your family. Your bosses are typically your very close family members. It's it breeds very, very, very different relationships, very layered relationships, very complicated relationships. It's a whole different sphere. And so people don't realize this, but there is an entire industry of family business related companies, products, consultants. So I sought a few out to get an understanding of what might this look like. What should the interconnected personal relationships look like from a business standpoint, from a familial standpoint, from an employee standpoint. So starting to learn how to navigate all of those things and what I might expect to see and not.
I had no idea that was even a thing, because a lot of dentists, they go into business with their family. Their parents were dentists, and they joined the family business. So I think that is such a great idea to get that, seek that consultation first to find out, what it's really going to be like, what the, positives and negatives are going to be, and just instead of just jumping right into it. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, it was invaluable. And it wasn't something that I just did before I came in. It was something that I maintained for many years while I was in the organization. And I actually, this is kind of crazy. This might be the first place where I've announced it publicly, but I actually have a book that's being published called How to Lead Your Family Business, Excelling Through Unexpected Crises, Choices, and Challenges. And it's really, it's my experiences in terms of what leading a business is like, a family business, what the dynamics are like. It's just a very authentic, relatable, and actionable book that other entrepreneurs, other business leaders that are in family businesses, owners or employees, can use to kind of help to galvanize their thinking around this unique circumstance.
Oh, that's great. So yeah, let me know when that book is available, and I look forward to reading that. That's great, because family business is so different than a regular business, that environment. If I was to sell my dental practice to my daughter or my son, very different than if I was just to sell it to, a stranger.
100%.
Now, tell me about, it seems like, reading your bio, you're very involved with academia and schools, University of Pennsylvania, School of Dentistry, Temple University, Arizona School of Dentistry, Harvard. Tell me all about that.
So with any business and any leader, not even a leadership position, but, we were talking about before, it was very important for me to prove my capabilities and not being anywhere due to entitlement. So for me, a big part of that was understanding and learning the industry and networking and developing relationships and really being enmeshed and integrated into the industry overall, and serving on these boards and being part of the larger, overall dental community is certainly a big part of that. And it's very valuable, very important exposure to learn about what's happening at these institutions, and also to, be integrated and learning from the other people within those organizations as well.
Now, what's it like being the CEO and the leader of a company? Is it very lonely at the top? Like, how do you, I struggle with this every day. I'm a, practice owner, I'm a leader. We have a staff of about 20. I struggle with it every day because I did not go to business school, and they don't teach you this stuff in dental school. So what's it like being a leader and the CEO?
Well, they don't teach it to you in business school either. It's just one of those things that you kind of learn on the job, and you learn and you listen and you observe and you find mentors and groups. What is it like? It's awesome and it's rough. But it's very, very rewarding. There are few experiences in life that are easy, that are very rewarding. But I absolutely love it. It's a complete privilege to lead Premier, to watch it grow, to develop and help to execute the vision. But it's challenging, and like you said, it can often be lonely. But it's really, really wonderful, and I'm very privileged to be able to be in this position and have such an amazing team of people at Premier that are willing to let me lead them.
Yeah, and it's not always going to be grand slams with decisions that you make. There's going to be mistakes and failures. And how do you go about, as the leader of a company, if you do make a mistake or you do fail, do you kind of tell yourself that this is going to happen, that no one's perfect, kind of try to continue to overcome doubt? What do you do to get over those failures?
I am a very self-critical person, so I definitely, my fail-safe is not everyone's going to make mistakes and it'll be okay. It's kind of like, fucking idiot, Julie, I can't believe you did that. I will eventually get to, okay, I understand why this happened, and now I'm going to learn from it, etc. But my fail-safe isn't, okay, I understand. It's certainly, a critical but reflective period to understand what led to the failure, and how to not just overcome that specific one, but how to create something so that things of the same vein do not happen again. Obviously each thing is a learning process. So with the failures, to create frameworks and processes around new avenues.
Now, actually, speaking of new avenues, tell me all about Izzo.
Sure. So Izzo Smile is our new direct-to-consumer company. It is a revolutionary product. I don't even like to call it a product. It's a revolution. It is the only 4-in-1 at-home oral care system designed to bring healthy confidence to you at home. We say it's for the 360 days a year that you're not at the dentist. So it's a 4-in-1 system. It is an electric toothbrush, which, okay, big deal. What's, you know, an electric toothbrush? Although ours does have the fastest oscillating bristles and is super cool and sleek. You can check it out on izzosmile.com. But in addition to that, and because we are a dental company that is scientific and develops products for dentists, we were able to look at oral care holistically in terms of translating what is available professionally into home care. So the toothbrush is not just a toothbrush. You can then replace the head with a prophy head, which, you know, is what the dental hygienist uses to polish the teeth. So it is a patented interchangeable brush that has a regular brush head and a prophy head. It also has enamel polishing paste, which essentially is our reformulated prophy paste to make it available for at-home use. So patients are able to brush, polish. We also have one of our instruments that we reconfigured. We changed the material, we changed the tolerances. So it is a safe and effective scaler that is made of different polyplastics. So brush, polish, scale, and there is a sanitizer, a sanitizing case. So you can put the sanitizing case on your brush head, and within 3 minutes, it kills 99.9% of the bacteria on your brush. So we really wanted to look holistically at what are things that we can translate from the dental office to home to work in conjunction with the dentist to ensure that the patient, when they're going to the dentist, has the best possible level of oral care. And that is Izzo Smile.
Now, was that it sounds like a major pivot where previously you were just, you know, B2B selling to dental offices, and now you're going direct to consumer. Is that just a totally different animal going direct to consumer?
100%. Very, 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 very different. The parts that were the same was the science and the development. And that's why we were able to do this, because we have been developing products and testing products, et cetera, for a century. We have very specific processes. We have very specific understanding of science and how to test things and what's efficacious and what's desirable. So that was very standard for us. You know, we look at Premier in terms of development. We have processes for taking things from ideation to commercialization. And that was very typical between what we do as Premier and what we do as Izzo. Where it's very different is really in terms of the communication and the marketing and everything happening in the marketplace, a consumer product versus a professional product.
Now, it sounds like, you know, Premier is, you know, being very innovative to stay current in the dental industry, you know, to grow and thrive. What about what else does it take to be, you know, successful in the dental industry? Is it, you know, knowing your data, knowing your numbers, your metrics, knowing the market? What do you recommend to any other, you know, CEOs that are starting up in the dental profession?
I don't know that dentistry is any different than any other profession in terms of the need for innovation, the need for change, the need for understanding of data and dynamics. You know, many years ago, someone showed me a Gatorade commercial, which was the theme of it was to start a revolution, the only solution, evolve. And that really is what it is about. That's how our business is able to be successful now for over 100 years. And that is being able to look ahead with the understanding of the present, the information needed to make those decisions, and of course, the financial wherewithal to do so. So it's not one thing, it's an amalgamation of many.
Now, I always like to wrap up with, first, I want to find out, you know, how we can find out more about the website or email. But then also a follow-up question is just, you know, what advice would you give to any young, either it's dental professional or just entrepreneur in general, like a mindset advice that you would give to them?
my mindset has always been, you got to work. You have to study, you have to work, you have to learn, you have to be willing to put it in, to put in the effort, and you need to be able to, you need to be open and responsive to others, to people that have come before you, to people that are behind you in terms of having new perspectives and ideas. But fundamentally, there needs to be a recognition and a realization that things take a lot of work and you're going to have to do it and you're going to have to put it in. There's no, sexy way about it or a magic pill or anything like that, which is a little bit outside of what we're seeing in kind of today's modern society with instant stars and everything like that. But from my experience, in order to build something sustainable, it needs a very strong foundation.
So there's no fast pass like at Disney World. It's you got to put the work in. Yeah.
But there are guides like there are at Disney World, and that's very important.
Yep. Very true. Now, how do we find out more about Izzo or about Premier Dental? Where do we find out more information?
So there's so much great stuff to find out about us. So Izzo is at izzosmile.com. Premier is at premierdentalco.com, and you'll be able to see at each all of the inspired solutions, as you said, the inspired solutions for daily dentistry. That's what you'll see at Premier, and at Izzo you'll see daily dentistry delivered. Both founded in science, data, integrity, and the needs of the patient and the profession in mind. And then for those people who are interested in family business, this book, I guess my book, How to Lead Your Family Business, Excelling Through Unexpected Crises, Choices, and Challenges, will be published in February, but I think that you can pre-order it now on Amazon. I think that you can. I'm working on all of the marketing stuff now. It's very unbelievable to me that this is a thing. So that's probably why I sound so unsure about it. Authoring a book was never really in the cards. It was just kind of a surreptitious thing. So 3 websites where you can learn about lots of different angles around Premier.
Excellent. Julie Charlestein, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Dr. Block. I had fun.
As always, I hope everyone finds this episode interesting and valuable. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the Deals for Dentists podcast on your favorite podcast platform and our weekly newsletter so you don't miss any of our upcoming shows. And if you're a dental company and interested in becoming a partner and want us to help you reach over 30,000 dentists nationwide, please email info@dealsfordentists.com.